What is going on, guys? I'm Nick, and we have another case for the iPhone 15 Pro, and it is one that I've seen a bit of mixed reviews on. It's going to be the Crashguard from Rhinoshield, and this is actually a pretty important case to me because it has been the first case I pick up for every phone for a good couple years now, even before I was using iPhones. But they did change the design. But before we talk more about it, let's get right into the packaging, and we'll get right to the case. So starting with the front, as always, we do get Rhinoshield branding right here, and then we do get more information on the case itself. It is going to be the Crashguard. It is military grade, BPA free, lightweight, and a minimal case. That is very true. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to enjoy this. A lot of you guys aren't even going to consider it a case, but it is to me, and I really enjoy it. You can see right here, it is for the iPhone 15 Pro. Here is a picture of the case itself, and you can see, of course, I went ahead and got the black one. Working on our way to the side, you can see same information right down here. Over on the back, you get sustainability inside out. A little bit more information down here. You can go ahead and pause and read if you would like. Over on the bottom, you get to see mineral oil free. Absolutely love to see that. And then just a little bit of information. You can see this entire package is recyclable. Absolutely love to see that. It is all just cardboard. I love when packages contain as little plastic as possible. But let's get right into it. As I'm opening this up, I am going to go ahead and throw the price for the case itself up on the screen. Pull this out. See, just an empty cardboard box right there that we can get rid of. And then we have the box for the case itself, Rhinoshield Protect Your World. And that is really it over here. Pop this open just like this. And here is the case. That is it. That is all the case is. It is just a bumper, so you can see there is no back to it or anything like that. This is it. This is the bumper. They do also have the Mod NX, which is this piece itself, the Crashguard, and it does come with a back piece, which is just a clear back that goes inside this case. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but right now let's go ahead and just focus on this. Getting a little closer on this material, you can see it is a very smooth material. Really nothing going on the outside. A very, very smooth material. It is not a silicone material. I wouldn't really say it's TPU or TPE either. It's Rhinoshield's own proprietary kind of, I don't want to say plastic. It doesn't feel cheap like plastic does, but it is very stiff and not as sticky, I would say, as silicone. It's a very nice in between. I do have the previous Rhinoshield Crashguard, and you can see there was a texture beforehand on the old model, which is right here. This is the old model, and then this is the new model. It is completely smoothed out. But if you want to see a comparison video, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. I do kind of want to do that, but only if you guys want to see it. So that is the previous model. Looking at the inside, we can see there is some texture built in, which is going to help with impact protection for sure. You can definitely tell right away, and it goes all the way around the case on both sides, except for the bottom because of all the cutouts you have going on down there. And of course, since it is Rhinoshield, you can go ahead and pop out these buttons just like that. You can do it the same with all the buttons, even the new action button. So I'm out for a different color, anything like that. Of course, me being me, I'm going to keep rocking the black. Before, you could remove this little bumper piece. Now you cannot. It is all just one piece. This, where you see this line right here separating the two, it is purely aesthetic. That piece does not come out or move at all. It's all one piece. But that is really all there is to look at here. Let's go ahead and grab the phone, being the iPhone 15 Pro in black right here, and let's snap it right into the case. A little difficult to get this one on sometimes, but once you figure it out, it's really not much of a learning curve anymore. That is the entire case. These lenses are a little dirty, so let's go ahead and wipe those down real quick. And there it is, the Crashguard from Rhinoshield. Super nice minimal case, and as you can see, there's nothing on the back. A lot of people aren't going to like that. A lot of people don't like that, but it's actually a fan favorite here, at least for me. I definitely love this case, this style of case. Now, of course, there's not too much to look at on the back, but your cameras are still going to be protected. You can't really see too well from the side. Yes, you kind of can. That there is a lip that goes all the way around and does keep those cameras safe. Another way that you can tell is when we do the wobble test, where I place this phone down, you can see zero wobble completely. Even as we work our way over to the top, no wobble. And that is somewhere where we usually always see wobble because of how large the cameras are. But there is absolutely none this time around. And that is because this case is pretty much completely flat. It turns your phone into a full slab. You can see the whole way down the back, it is all flat. You don't see those camera lenses protruding at all. Even if I turn it a little bit, you can see me turning it. Those lenses fall right under this lip that goes all the way around the case. So it's super nice to see that. And the fit on this is a little different. When we get to the middle, you can see there is a bit of pull, which is extremely rigid. You can see I'm pulling pretty hard and you can barely get it to come off the sides of the phone. As you work your way up towards the buttons and the top and the bottom, it is an extremely rigid fit. You don't have to worry about dropping your phone and this case flying off. That is not going to happen. Even pulling this off, you can see it is extremely rigid, but that of course is because there's no back here. The middle, there's no back. There's nothing holding this together like that. It is pretty much free to move on its own. But working our way over to the front, you can see you do still get a pretty significant screen lip, which is very nice to see on a minimal case like this. I do have a tempered glass screen protector on here, so if you don't have one, you're going to get even more lip. But if you do, this is pretty much what you're going to be looking at, just like me. So over here on the volume button side, you can see you do get a dedicated button for the action button. Really like to see that. Let's go ahead and test it out. I would say it's pretty nice. I do want to compare it to the volume buttons. Yeah. That's something that I have noticed in the past couple of days of testing. The action button does not seem to be as tactile as the volume and power buttons. It's a little stiffer, but I've noticed that I don't mind it as much as I thought I would from the start, mainly because of the fact that it lets me know when I'm pressing the action button or pressing the volume buttons. And I have been getting a little confused recently, getting used to it. So I don't mind it all that much. I use it to differentiate the buttons on the sides. So action button, not as tactile. Volume buttons, extremely tactile. As you can see right there. As we work our way down, you do get a little lanyard cutout, so you can attach a lanyard on there. There's not one included. Rhinoshield does offer a bunch of them, and if not, if you already have one, you can just insert it right there. Over on the bottom, we do get very nice cutouts, very generous cutout for your USB-C port, and then symmetrical cutouts for your microphone and your speaker over on the bottom. Working our way to the power button side now, you do see Rhinoshield branding right there. Power button, which is extremely tactile, super nice to see that. Of course, it is just like the volume buttons, very nice to see. And then over on the top, completely closed off. Something that is definitely worth mentioning is the sides are slightly concaved. I'm not sure if you'll be able to notice that, but you can see there's kind of a shape down here, and it does kind of conform to your fingers pretty well, and it is like that on both sides. Just look at that. It does feel very nice in the hand to hold, while the top and the bottom are completely flat. The sides do kind of cave in a little bit, which give you a very nice grip on this smooth material. Now with an open back, we are still going to test MagSafe. Of course, it is MagSafe compatible, and let's just get right into it. Starting with the Spigen OMAG ring as always. I'm gonna pop this out. It's a foam grip and stand in one. You can see it fits inside this case very nicely, and it's going to be the exact same strength as the iPhone is stock, so nothing too crazy, but also definitely not weak. See right there, tap away at it, and it's going to be very nice. That is pretty much it for this one. I always use this accessory, so it's kind of a go-to for me at this point. If you see my phone, it probably has that on it. But we're gonna move over to the Apple MagSafe battery pack so we can charge a little bit, so we can test a little bit of wireless charging and MagSafe strength. You can see it charges just fine. Of course, it is the bare phone. And something that is very important to me about this case is how well this battery pack specifically fits inside of it. As you can see, it fits very nice and snug in there. It's not going to go anywhere even if you drop it, because even if this battery pack were to slip off, it has nowhere to go. It has to be lifted out of the case itself. You can't push it out. You have to specifically go and lift it. Now, if you're using a bigger battery pack, like some of the options from Anker, maybe like this one, which isn't very much larger, you can see it is actually thinner than the battery pack from Apple, but it is just a little bit larger right there. As you can see, when we use something like this, you can see while it does fit width-wise, it hangs over the bottom, which I personally don't mind too much since I use a ton of these, but if you drop it, it is not going to stay in like the Apple battery pack does. So just something to keep in mind. It does still charge when you have it down like that. You can see right here, we are charging right there. You get the little lightning bolt, it is still charging, but it's not completely flush. And if you have something even bigger, like another option from Anker, something huge like this, it does still fit width-wise, but the same thing is happening. It does still charge, as you can see right there, but it is not going to be very secure. So definitely something to be careful with. This does still work with a stand and everything. You don't have to worry too much. I'm mostly talking about drops. If you drop your phone with a larger battery pack on it, you're probably losing the battery pack. Just something to keep in mind. But we do still have to go ahead and test our strength right here. We're gonna see with this base one from Nomad just how well this case works. And I already know for a fact that of course it's gonna charge and that the phone itself can lift the base one, which is almost dropped it right there, almost killed my desk. The phone itself can lift the 1 pound charging base from Nomad. As you can see right there, my hand goes completely under it. I'm not gonna be touching the sides of the base itself, just the phone. As you can see right there, and there it is. You can't really turn it completely on its side. So that's the phone itself not having crazy strength, but there it is. I would say for this case, I'm probably gonna give strength, well, I'd really be rating the phone alone. I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10, just because of the fact that some accessories aren't going to work because you're stuck to this size specifically. Of course, if you're someone who only uses the Apple battery pack, you have nothing to worry about, but something larger, just keep it in mind. So that is going to be the crash guard. I'll give you guys one last look around the case and then we'll call it a day. So back to our camera, you can see there is no exactly dedicated lip here, but you do have full coverage, which goes along the entire back of the phone. I really like that. Now over on the front, you do get a decent lip. I do have a tempered glass screen protector on here. If you don't, you're gonna get more lip. If you do, this is what you're looking at. The volume button side right here, you do get a dedicated button for that action button, which is not as tactile as your volume and power buttons, but nice to have, especially so you can differentiate the two. Lanyard hole right here. Over on the bottom, really nice cutout for your USB-C port, and then symmetrical cutouts for your speaker and your microphone. Over on the right side, Rhinoshield branding, and that very tactile power button, and then completely closed over on the top. That is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button down below and remember to subscribe. It helps me out a ton and it means the absolute world to me. But that is it for this one, guys. If you have any suggestions for cases or accessories you want to see me cover, remember to leave them down in the comments below. I try my best to respond to all of you guys. It just might take me a little bit to get there. But that is it, and I will see you guys in the next one.